We're on.
Take it away, man.
Okay. It's Dave and Rick from Athletic Alliance, and we're gonna do a short video on the ketones, the Start-BHB, the exogenous ketones that we've recently come out with. Is there anything you want to add before I get on my rant about how I've been using them?
No, I would say only that there's specific ways you can. There's a lot of different ways. It's a very versatile ingredient, I guess you would say, and there's a lot of different ways you can use it for different results, different purposes.
Yeah. So I've had some time with it since we launched it a few months ago. So I found a couple different ways to use it. So far, my favorite way to use these ketones is I do a lot of cyclical ketogenic diets. So right now, I find what works best for me and getting the best results is I'll go into ketosis kind of starting on a Monday, and I'll stay in ketosis for about 2 weeks. Then on the weekends, I like to carb load, fill the cells back up, do some heavy lifts, and kind of have some cheat meals, stuff like that. So where the ketones step in as the best results that I'm getting is that shift back on Monday mornings, going back into ketosis. So I'll take a full scoop of our BHBs, and that flips you right into ketosis pretty much right away within an hour or two. Then from there on out, I will cut out all carbs and keeps me in ketosis. Helps with any sort of keto sickness, any flus, anything like that. Then going forward, I'm in ketosis because of the BHBs, but my body's still not burning its own fat sources, turning into ketones and losing weight and stuff like that. So it does take a couple days to shift back into ketosis, but it really helps that process. So going forward, the next Tuesday, Wednesday, and throughout the week, I'll take maybe about half a scoop sometime in the afternoon. It really helps with a nice energy boost in the day, helps with cognitive function, all this great stuff. And then it helps, like I said before, with any sort of keto flus, etc., etc. And then, by Wednesday, Thursday, I'm back into ketosis. And then what I like to do is I'll do a fasted morning, other than the ketones and stuff like that. And this way, when I'm at the gym, I'm in ketosis, burning through fat. And that, in my experience, has been the best results that I've gotten from it. It's all right. But yeah, I take a full scoop of our BHBs Monday morning, and it really gets my body into that transitioning phase. Hey, we're going to be using ketones again. Acts as a signaling agent, and it really helps that flip into ketosis process. And then, like I said before, any sort of negative side effects of just doing a keto diet in general. So that's why I'll supplement, just half a scoop throughout the week, just to keep my body going. It just really helps with the negative side effects. The other way I like to use it is if I'll use it as a pre-workout, especially when I'm in ketosis. So Thursday, Friday, and throughout that weekend and the next week, when I've been in ketosis for a while and my body really likes the ketones, I spike it with my pre-workout, maybe half a scoop or even just a third, and it gives you a nice energy boost at the gym. I scoop that with Havoc, especially the ones with no caffeine. Stacks great. So that's how I've been using it. Works awesome. There are a few other ways that I've seen people using the ketones. If you're not in ketosis, like we said, your brain does like working with ketones. Awesome results for just taking it midday, maybe half a scoop. Really helps as a cognitive booster.
Yeah, I've found too that the reason we have a half scoop recommendation on there is because it's better for people to ease their way in. I've found half a scoop to be effective in itself, but we have heard from maybe 5% of the people, 10% of the people, that ketones, exogenous ketones, a large dose at first, can give them some stomach upset. So it generally takes maybe a week or two to adjust to it.
Yeah, it's the only time I ever take a full scoop is when I've had a big carb up weekend and I need to get into ketosis right away, because I kind of feel bad about what I did over the weekend, right? Other than that, I've always been fine with just half a scoop.
Well, I find half a scoop gets me into ketosis.
Yeah.
But yeah, if I take half a scoop, I'm in.
Yeah. Yeah, I actually haven't played around with it enough just doing that, but yeah, I get great results throughout the week just taking half a scoop. I took a half a scoop just before we left for this drive. Works awesome.
Yes. And Dave and I right now are on our way to the lab to taste 2 exciting new flavors.
2 new flavors, caffeine free.
Caffeine-free.
Because what we've seen is people like stacking it with other products. Everything's just overkill on caffeine these days. So yeah, we'll have a nice mix of some caffeinated ones, caffeine free. I prefer the caffeine free just so I can stack it with my pre-workouts and everything else I take throughout the day.
And these ones will have a long scoop, a long handle on the scoop, right?
Yeah.
That's been a bit of an issue for people that don't know. I mean, I discovered that my hands were too big to get into the jar. I mean, I do have large hands, but I'm sure it's a problem for a lot of people. And so, yeah, the long handle, you'll see that going forward.
There is one other mention I'd make on the ketones and a way to use it that I've heard of people using. I haven't done it myself, but you can actually use it as a gainer. Some people that are trying to put on weight, especially people that are real hard gainers. No matter how much they eat, their body just metabolizes it and it's out of their system. And I know some people, I used to be like that back in my 20s, unfortunately. But now it's all too easy for me to put on weight. But what happens is your body wants to prioritize ketones. So as soon as you take the exogenous ketones, your body, that's why you're in ketosis. You're flipped into ketosis, you're using those ketones for energy. So if you stack ketones pre-workout with a heavy carb meal or something like that, something with high calories, your body is going to use the ketones as its primary energy source while storing the excess food that you've given it pre-workout or throughout the day.
Yeah, I mean, another thing you could do as well is post-workout. For example, if you have, say, an exhaustive workout and you take a gainer or something high carb just to replenish your muscle glycogen post-workout, you could take that followed by the Start-BHB, and that would preserve your muscle glycogen. So you would already be in ketosis, gradually switching over to ketosis and burning fat while preserving muscle glycogen. Because a lot of times, that's an issue a lot of people have when they're on ketosis is their muscles, they kind of flatten out, right? Because your skeletal muscle holds a lot of glycogen, right? Carbs, glucose, starch, right? And that's why when you carb up, before it spills over into fat, you get that real full kind of, full muscle look, right? And that's the muscle glycogen. So if you use it properly, you can't spare muscle glycogen.
Yeah, and that actually brings me to something I forgot to mention is the ketones are great for any performance athletes that are doing a keto diet, because you do lose out on a certain type of strength. It's ATP strength that you have lots of stores on when you're in ketosis. But what's the energy store that you lose?
The glycolytic.
Yeah.
So any activity that would go from like 10 seconds to probably 10-15 minutes.
But part of the problem is that your body it has stores of fat, but it needs a little bit of time to actually process the fat into ketones for energy. When you take the ketones pre-workout, you actually have the ketones readily accessible, and your body's just jacked up with energy. And so for performance athletes, it's great to keep your training high in intensity throughout the week without feeling weak. It's awesome.
Yeah, the only way to pull fat out of your cells is to have a calorie deficit, right? And that goes for whether you're in ketosis or not in ketosis. So, I mean, the ketones are fine. They switch you into that energy mode. But if you have excess calories, then you won't be burning fat.
Right.
But I mean, they will have the benefit of blunting your appetite, giving you that satiated feeling so that you're not hungry, you don't get those kind of carb cravings as well.
Yeah, so it's not some miracle product where you take it, you're in ketosis and you're burning fat, but it does really aid in any sort of keto diet, low carb diets, anything like that. Helps with all the negative side effects of those, keep helping with the benefits of burning fat. stuff like that, and transitioning into ketosis.
Yeah, I would say it's probably in the top 5 of the most useful supplement ingredients that you can have.
Oh yeah.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah, and there's only a few that I would put ahead of it. Maybe protein post-workout. For me, some stuff like citrulline malate and caffeine before workout. But yeah, ketones is a huge crutch for me when I'm doing keto diets.
Yeah, I would say probably whey, protein, creatine, maybe citrulline malate, caffeine, and exogenous ketones. Those are probably the 5 best single things that you can use.
Yeah, I've been doing keto diets for quite a while now, and yeah, it's quite amazing how much it helps. And like I said, I've had a few months now to play with it, take it in different ways, and yeah, if you're gonna shift in and out of ketosis, it's a must-have. And pretty much anybody that does a keto diet has a cheat day. You know, even whether it's once a week or once a month.
Well, it's good for you anyways. It kind of revs up your metabolism and fills up those glycogen stores, like I said. All right.
I think that covers it.
Does that answer your questions?
Yeah, you guys can let us know. I think there will be a comment section.
We do see a lot of questions on ketones, ketosis, ketogenic diets, and we are the original keto company out there, I would say.
I think so. There's maybe 1 or 2 BHBs out there online.
Yeah, you know,
deep out there.
all our stuff was dedicated towards ketogenic
That's
or
true.
cyclical ketogenic diets right from the day one, like 5-6 years ago. So
Oh yeah, that was our signature a long time ago. The
Yeah.
first ketogenic diet supplement.
we're very familiar with this stuff. Okay. All right.
I'm good.
Do you want to take us out with a song?